Right, just waiting for the others to join up. Tawabat, our woman. Tawabat. Kuti tree. Right, Tawabat, our woman. For those who didn't watch, the game ended Zimbabwe 1, South Africa 1. Yeah. After seeing the lineup, didn't expect it at all. Yeah, I was half expecting a big lose, but it was a very defensive lineup. So yeah, Avara Okuman, and I don't know if I know a lot of people have been calling for Mike O'Neill's head. So a lot of people will not be happy as well. Of course, there were very questionable decisions. So today he made the brave call. At right back, he started Munashe. Welcome out.
Thank you. How's it going?
Yeah, good. Are you happy or are you happy or not happy?
Oh, well, a draw is always a good result in these circumstances, but we could have won because South Africa were not on the game right now. The way they played, they were there for the taking, you see. We could
Yeah,
have beaten them easily, but we had no attackers.
yeah,
And these guys, I think they lacked pace that we had on the pitch.
yeah. We
Wazona
didn't. We lacked
Papinda,
pace.
yes, Papinda, those younger boys, even though they were down to 10, we were pressing. We had more chances to score a goal
Yeah,
on. So it could have been better, but we'll settle for a draw.
yeah. I think for today we just settle for a draw. Um, so what do you think about the starting lineup? Did you have any surprises there? I think in
Plenty
one
of
of our previous
surprises.
analysis, you had suggested Kuti Munashe should start at right back. Um,
Yes, I suggested
yeah,
that. I liked it that he started at right back, but the problem with that situation is that at center back you don't have good options
yeah,
because Sarata Kupeya Takwara na
Deb.
Hadeb. Yes, they did the job today, but I don't think those are our best center backs. Galloway could
Yeah,
have played there. He definitely should play. He's definitely better than the both of them.
yeah,
Better than both Takwara and Hadebe.
yeah,
So then that still leaves another center back if Munashi is supposed to go on right back because there was an issue ya Jalai not going forward in the previous game.
Yeah.
Munashe corrected it today. Like right from the start, he was pushing up. He was going into midfield. He was trying to help the attacks. So you need that from a right back. So I think as a right back, he's a good option. But then my options that Rosara now upper center back and none.
Yeah.
Because I still think Galloway should start in that center back.
Yeah.
But why he's not starting, it
I
surprises
think
me.
from the last game, I think Nis kind of hinted that Galloway's body must learn to be more. Chico, like that word that he uses, could he must learn to be stronger to avoid
Okay.
injuries, something like that. So in that case, I'm not sure why he still keeps on calling him if he thinks he's
Exactly.
not fit.
If you
Yeah,
think he's not fit enough, why are you calling him? Then better
yeah,
to Ziota Atina a good center back
yeah,
cover for those two. But not
yeah,
to nominate or Rambochim bench. He's definitely better than those two.
yeah,
In my opinion, he's better than Hadebe. He's better than Takwara. And a pairing of him Namnashe would be great. If only we could find another right back, a good
yeah,
enough right back. But Jalai is not bad himself. He just has to push forward. He has to go forward plus. His
yeah.
height maybe though, meter late down is a little
Yeah,
bit short.
I think I thought Chikwenda Umberi because of his height probably. I thought Mapura anongonzi chu whilst he's
Mm-hmm.
forward and recovery yacho on it. Plus also maybe overlap kwa right back can also be affected by how the midfielders are playing because the midfielders then have to be able to take the pressure.
Mm.
Then they can give you the ball wider, a bit more advanced.
Wait
But
a
in the
minute.
case
Yeah.
Yekuti, if we have a Takwara or a Hadebe, when they get the ball, their instinct is to chew. Then it
Yeah.
goes forward. So the next thing, it's a 50-50 ball. Most likely the opposition is winning the ball and it's coming back. So maybe there's no chance to then do proper overlapping it up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Welcome,
probably that's
Calvin.
it.
Uh, are you happy with the result, or he's hanging? Thinking
Yeah. Yeah, I think his network is still
he's hanging a
playing up.
bit.
Hello.
Hello. What did you think
Oh yeah.
about were you surprised with the starting lineup today?
Ah, you know, I
It's
don't know.
not
Don't wait on it.
Popotenas.
Don't wait on it. Don't wait on it. I'm just going to give up with Zimbabwe football. But at the end of the day, it's our country, and we're passionate about it, and you can't really ignore them. And
Yeah,
when I went for a while without watching Zimbabwean football and Zimbabwe national team,
yeah,
it was through the stuff that were happening then. And
yeah,
my problem is those things are still happening. Just different people in charge, but the same things from administration and the coaching as well. And some people are going to South Africa with 10 men and fail to look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture, which is there's players we really needed to see so that we know when we get to the qualifiers, when we get to the AFCON,
AFCON.
what
yeah,
they can do to be changed. And game time on where else are you going to play them? this notion, even the lineup, like you mentioned, I'll answer the lineup. This is all easy names to pick. I can't even see any thought process in that lineup. And the problem, like I've said, people are going to be fooled and hoodwinked by the result, which on another day we could have lost by, several goals, but that's football for you. And I even said this before, that's why I text before the match, and I said, I don't want to say this at the end of the game, and then people say, oh yeah, maybe because of the result or anything. And I said it to begin with, and I said, even if we win, this is not good, because it goes back to things that we say. Mavi is not playing. Yeah?
Yeah.
We have Msona, who you can clearly see that as much as he can give us experience, but the legs are gone. You've got Kamabiliet. Yeah?
Who did nothing.
Who would flutter to deceive. He'll show you like he's doing something. Sometimes when he gets the ball to his feet, when he don't lose it. But the game is much more than that. It's much more than just once every 10 minutes you get hold of the ball, you keep it, and everyone says, oh yeah, you did well, you let your fellow teammates, rest. No, you've got to do more. And this is what I said, when older players, the older you get, you start looking at pockets to rest. So when you're looking for pockets to rest, you're causing issues with the whole side. But it's not Billiard's problem. It's not Billiard's issue. It's not Musona issue. It's not Mavi issue. It goes back to the manager, to the coach. I have never thought that I'll ever be frustrated by a manager who is non-Zimbabwean. And by that, I mean non-Zimbabwean as in sense that I've always said probably the Zimbabwean national team, what it needed was someone who doesn't know anyone there, who's just going to do their job and say, I don't know people, I'm just going to do my job, I'm going to pick players on merit. You tell me that side is being picked on merit. You tell me that side is being picked on what basis? With the thought of AFCON, with the thought of the future, what is it? What is it? And then you're looking at people. You are telling me, and I've asked this question, through the football that we all see, maybe we are blind. Maybe we don't see what these coaches sometimes see. But I'm experienced enough to realize that even the best UEFA A license coach, pro license, can actually do stupid things that are very basic. Even Guardiola can do things where you think you should have done A, B, C, D, and you're proved right. Yeah. And this manager, everything about him, he just proving to me that he don't really have the Zimbabwean national team future at heart. He doesn't. Sometimes we have managers who would say, I've got to play for now, I've got to win now because the results now are what matter. I'm okay with that because he's saying I can't prepare for someone's future. But even now, what are you preparing? Even now, for now, what is it that is preparing with that starting lineup? You are telling me that with everything that we see, you're telling me our defenders, yes, we didn't concede. You're telling me that Brendan Galloway is benched on the CB that we have. This has nothing to do with favoritism, nothing to do with, because he plays there, he plays whatever. We've seen him play. We know what he can do. And we know games like this, which are like against South Africa. South Africa, it's almost like a very professional side. you're looking at the Galloways who understand what professionalism is when you're facing games like this. Yeah. So we defended for our lives. Yeah. And we got a point. But what did we get out of this game today? If you tell me, what is it that we got out of this game that we say we're going to take into the next game and then into AFCON? Apart from resilience, which was held by the fact that South Africa just couldn't score. What else can we take from there? What else can we say Zimbabwean football benefited from today's match?
Yeah, I
With
think
another,
in terms of combinations, Hapana, but probably if we get to 10 men at AFCON, maybe we can say what's it, a bit of organization. You can go ahead.
I was just saying, Kutiki, attack here South Africa was just wasting chance after chance, especially that number 17, Anonzani Bully or something. He was wasting chances. He was shooting. His shots were off target. He can shoot in. And there was another game. I don't know. Bora Raenda Foster 1-on-1. Agabita Aru.
Oh, yeah.
He could have squared. There was a square pass easily back, and he tried to go for goal, and then Lunga clears it off goal. So they were South Africa was making bad decisions one after another. That result could have been worse than a 0-0. But their attack was just potent today. Nothing was working. They were missing the target, and on a couple of occasions, Arubi was brilliant, with interceptions and with some saves.
So Arubi, is he a positive as we look towards AFCON?
Arubi is not bad. There is an argument here which Chipez is better, but I don't know how we are basing that argument on. Or what exactly are we basing it on?
For me, having watched Chipez before, because you remember the last
in
time
that
he was
last
told,
AFCON, yeah, you remember that.
He was in form in South Africa. He was doing good, but I think
and look what he did on that.
Yeah. I think the international level is a certain type of keeper who can succeed, especially at AFCON level. Because there was one thing that I wanted us to talk about. So I think it's a theme that I've been seeing in the past games at Tamba. We seem to concede a lot of crosses, whether they are low crosses, whether they are high crosses. So Chipezeze with his physique, I don't think he would be the best there. Why do you think we concede a lot of crosses? Is there something wrong with our midfield or fullbacks? What is it? Structure?
It's, sometimes people talk about fullbacks being the reason why teams concede a lot of crosses here. But there's so many phases in the game that sometimes you'd actually see that probably it's not even the fullback. Because you have to remember one thing. The fullback doesn't do touch tight when the ball is on the other side. Yeah. The fullback only shifts or gets closer to a wide man if, say, the ball is coming from the other side and it's going diagonal to the winger there. That's when, as the ball is in the air, that's when they start running, trying to get to where the wide man is. Yeah. So even when we in play and say the opposition have got the ball in the middle of the pitch, when they're playing it there, you don't see the midfield, the wide, the fullback touch tight. Again, they have to leave. They have to come inside because there's nothing there. We only going out there when the ball is out there. So sometimes, by the time that if he's there and the ball is shifted to the right winger, they can make a run straight away. But then if it's someone, a wide man, who's going to just go touch, cross, they're not going to get there. Or if it's someone who is good at dribbling, remember every wide man, many a times they control the ball before they get any pressure. So if they can go past the fullback, Unfortunately, that's the name of the game, yeah. So if we are going to stop the crosses, or if we're going to stop, crosses, there's a triangle of players there. There's always a fullback, a midfielder who's on that side, and the wide and the wide man as well, our wide man. So they have to work, as a unit there to make sure that they help each other, they help with the fullback to make sure that there's no doubling up. Because if you think about it as well, many a times teams who are putting crosses into the box, they're not necessarily using the wide man. What they're doing is the wide man goes there, he goes out wide, the ball is played to the wide man, the fullback goes and presses and reduces the gap. The ball that's being played into the box is the one which is being brought back. The winger is bringing the ball back, almost like he's recycling it to their own fullback, or there can we then say our fullback is not doing a job. So it's collective. We're not doing enough collectively to make sure that we stop that ball, from being played. And one of the things that normally happens is people not understanding each other. When you don't play together regularly, sometimes the way that you coordinate is not like that, like how what teams or club football teams does. So I think in most sides now, the way football is being played, you've got to have a lot of pace in the side, whether it's midfield. You see now even at the back as well, some teams are trying to put pace at the back as well, because the game is so quick. If you have got players who are not fit or who are taking that split second, to get to the man, the ball is played already. So for me, I don't understand, and I'll be lying if I say I saw exactly what Mbappe did. I didn't watch the whole game because I was busy to start with, and to be honest, I ended up doing stuff that I put aside to do. When I saw the lineup, I just thought he's taking the piss. I just don't see this manager. He just don't do it for me. So, but the little that I saw with the Mbappe and all that, I just saw that he was lethargic. He was lethargic, and they were not getting to the men, as close as possible. But then you can also legislate on that and say there were 10 men from the 65th minute, So you're not going to press really. You're just going to come deep and try to defend from there. So anyone can do what Zimbabwe did, because if you've got 10 men and you put everyone behind the ball, it takes special quality to go past you. So what it meant now is that that 0-0 or the failure by South Africa to score can also be attributed to South Africa not having the right players to open up our defense or to open up our side. But it doesn't necessarily mean that Zimbabwe are very good at defending, because any 10 men defending behind the ball is very difficult. So, but I can guarantee you, when you see the comments that's going to be made about this game with the 0-0, you probably wonder whether you're watching the same game as these people, or even the coach. I'm interested to see what that coach says about this game.
Yeah, I'll be watching the press conference with much interest. So Sona started at center forward, it seems, but then when the incidents happened, both yellow card incidents happened, it looked like he was now going back again. Was it because the first yellow card happened before the red card, and it seems he was now going back deep? Was he going back to look for the ball? What was that?
I don't know why he was dropping deep. You see, he had players who could give him the ball. There was no need for him to drop deep going on otsvaga bhora. Ari kungozvinetesa unnecessarily. At his age, haachakwanisa kumhanya full 90 minutes at the pace inenge game. So he should have, in my opinion, he was supposed to reserve his energy. Let the guys get the ball and give him. But when he started dropping deep. He started getting frustrated. I think maybe it's because of tiredness. And then when he
Yeah.
gets frustrated, he is angry. Yes, of course, his first yellow card was unfair because I think he had a just point to complain to the ref.
Yeah.
But usually, isn't it these days, leave it to the captain to do it.
Yeah.
Let
Yeah. The captain is
the
the only one
captain
allowed to
talk.
speak.
Yes, allowed to speak. So in that case, but knowing that you are on a yellow card, that tackle he made, there's no excuse for making that tackle other than he was tired. It's a
Yeah.
reckless tackle for someone who is on a yellow card. You
Yeah.
cannot make that tackle. Absolutely. Waona zvaita Tawanda Mswanise
Yeah.
pazopiwa the South African guy. He stood
Yeah.
off. Arozata no yellow card. He put his hands
Yeah.
because the guy wanted a fight. He was pushing
Yeah.
him and shoving him. He
That
pulled
was
out of
very
it.
clever.
He was clever. He put his hands up. He said, I'm not doing anything. You see, and the referees saw it and they booked the other guy and he was out.
Yeah. I've noticed
So
Mfana
So you
Tawanda
basically,
see,
is
a
his
young
starting
decision
lad,
that.
making was
a young lad was more exemplary than a senior player.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
And
unfortunately.
so what my son he said did, what my son he said did is what you expect Musona to do, and vice versa. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you've got no excuse. For me, I always find this funny. When people say, "Oh yeah, that was unfortunate," and that was unfortunate on a yellow card,
Exactly. You
and
can't
then you
afford.
sleep, and then you end up hurting someone, then you get a second yellow card. But a
yeah.
yellow card for a tackle, especially someone who's not even a defender, it's not even a last ditch
Yeah.
tackle,
Striker.
yeah,
It's in their
for
box.
mouthing off
It's in
to the
their
referee
half.
and all that. I have no excuses for that because every time you're playing, you know what, you could get a yellow card in the first minute of the game, and every time whatever you're doing, you focus on the basis that the next thing that I do that is silly, I'm off. So
Exactly.
for him, like you said, what happens now is when you get tired, your thinking capacity now diminishes because you're tired. That's where you do things that are reckless. Yeah. So in that aspect, what do you expect to do then? The manager should be looking at that before that happens and saying, you know what? You don't have the energy that I would need him to have. And at this moment in time, after 60 minutes, yeah, I have to be looking at getting him off. But that manager, for me, players like Musona, it seems like they've been given almost like a free reign in that team where you do whatever you want. Just do whatever you want. The coach is happy for him to do whatever he wants. Or the coach is clueless. The reason why I say that is because everything that the players are doing in there, they have the blessing of the coach unless if you see the coach having a go at them for doing those things. So if he's coming deep and he keeps on coming deep and the coach is not saying anything, you put that on the coach. Because if the coach had a problem with it, he should say, stay up, stay up, stay up. Yeah?
Yeah.
If he doesn't do that, then that means he's happy for him to do, but to go deep. But if he goes deep, does he
A
have the
false
energy
nine.
to then go from defend into attack?
Exactly.
Does he have the energy? So if you don't have the energy, the guarantee that we have is even if he wins the ball deeper and we probably play it into the channels and whatever, because he's not going to be able to get into the box there, technically, we've already given them possession before we've even given them the ball. Because that through ball that has been played, no matter how brilliant it is, it's not going to count for anything because he's just going to lose the ball because we don't have the numbers
Yeah.
in our attacking phase.
Another thing that I noticed as well, was it end of first half, nekutanga second half, Chirewa was very frustrated because Msona got the ball, Marshall got the ball, Billy had got the ball, and he made runs, and it was almost a 3-on-3. but they were not releasing the ball early enough. So, what's
You
the
see,
problem there? Asma playmaker, Chi.
the problem ndeyekuti hatina a creative midfielder pama-midfielders atinawo paya. Naturally, someone who is attack minded, anoona those runs easily. You can spot that run and just put the ball through to him. Spot another run. Imagine Mina De Bruyne, mfano achita maruns anga achita, he's gonna pick him with one of those balls. But those guys, I don't know the mentality yavo inenge iri sei. We could have utilized Chirewa, but unfortunately, which I don't know, is it what then ended up with the coach substituting him? Because I found that strange. He was taken off 56 minutes.
Maybe because I told Popota and story visible, because they were very academy 1v1 so maybe that's why he was substituted.
So you see,
or maybe the coach just doesn't
So
substitute Sona and Billiard.
So
you see, Ananzani. Yeah, yes, okay.
When I saw that substitution, I'm thinking, so are you telling me that with 10 men, Kama is going to give us more out of that game than Chirewa? These are things that I just find strange, with this manager. And that manager is just as bad as the Zimbabwean coaches that we had. That bad. He's just as bad.
Yeah, I think he missed it.
Because that manager that coach is almost like, he's just a Zimbabwean who lived in Zimbabwe all his life, and he knows everyone. And he's got these players, got these people. His behavior is so you can equate it to the coaches that we've had before, because he does the same thing. The players, there are certain players who are almost untouchable, and players who, even in a game where tactically you need to change it, he would rather change it. There is players who, as a coach, sometimes players who are easy on the eye to actually say you're coming off. There's players who are so easy. Players, you look at, if I'm a coach here and I'm looking at that team, and I'm not very strong-minded in that sense. Players like the young players, they are easy to just get out or get off the pitch than the senior players. Yeah. Unless if you really say, you know what, I don't care whatever the senior players do, because at the end of the day, this is my job and I want to win. So these coaches, normally they find it easy to just get the young players out. So you can understand as well the frustrations of the Chirewas, because from a tactical point of view, you're thinking, what is it Kama is going to do that Chirewa can do it more in a 10-man?
You see,
because because I'll tell you one thing, Chirewa, if he gets the ball with 10 men, he's probably going to try to run towards goal with the, and try to stretch South Africa, or at least get a foul. If you have someone like Kama who don't have pace now, he's going to try to go around them, and try to dribble there, which he's going to lose the ball anyway. So there's a difference between trying to keep the ball there when you've got 4 players around you, because we all too deep, than someone who just hits the ball and say, let's go into that corner, I might get a throw in, So you can't give me any reason why Chirewa would come off and, Kama stays on the pitch.
Yeah.
But these things are happening regularly. These things are happening all the time, and but he's just happy to play the players that he likes, and the players that he likes, no matter what, they'll always play. Look at what time he pulled Mave off. Look at what time he pulled Kama off. Look at how the fact that with the risk that was involved, Musona was allowed to stay on the pitch until he got sent off. So these are players that he feels like he doesn't want to touch. But we all know that Zimbabwe is at a crossroads now where the young players, we've got so many young players, loads and loads of young players. who now can do the job. Because at some point, any team gets to the point where it's got to be changed. Who thought that David Beckham, Paul Scholes, Steven Gerrard, Lampard, and all that? Who thought they wouldn't be in that England team? When they were playing, you think, oh my God, you know what? Oh, we're stars, yeah. And then all of a sudden, you see the Gerrards and the Lampards, they're starting to get on the bench and all that, and you realize, yeah, they're being phased out because the younger players, energetic players, who are coming in. But in Zimbabwe, if you still considered, and I don't have problem with players who are experienced, but I've got a problem with players who are experienced when they're being used when they're not supposed to be used. Giving 70, 80 minutes, to those players, is counterproductive, because at the end of the day, the game itself needs players who got the energy. Without energy, you're screwed. But this game gives, a false, but it gives false hope and it gives false narrative for the manager. So now he feels vindicated, and he feels that he's untouchable on the next game, because he's going to say, I made the right choices. Maybe South African forwards just made the right choice for you. Maybe it's not you. But that's the name of the game. When they say nil, they put it on his CV. And the other thing I'm looking at is, is this all we expect? We have not won one single game in that, in these qualifiers. One.
Yeah.
And we give all
5
sorts of
draws
excuses
and losses
for this man.
And the painful part is today, I think the few times that we attacked, it was clear that South Africa was there for the taking. They were vulnerable. Kumashuro. When those young boys, Pawapinda, Nafabi, Shana, Bill, Antonio, Pawapinda, there was a marked difference in terms of the energy. And I think I liked Mfana Jonah, because the few times Shikira opposite midfielder, Ashika achitsika munhu wake achitora bhora, and that's the energy that we would have needed from Nakamba. But
and Nakamba is taking that guy, is keeping that guy on the bench. So that's the surprising thing, you see. In this game, there's an argument to be made that Musona could have been left out completely. Ngwenya Atanga up front.
yeah.
And then, that being said, Papiwa Musona yellow card. More so that at that moment, that's an opportunity to try another guy. And it miss. Then you protect yourself. That's number and down to 10 men against another opposition, against a fully functioning South Africa, would lose 2-3 goals,
Yeah.
But that could have been avoided if the correct substitution had been made, in my opinion. Because I don't know what the game. Substitution take off the guy and a yellow card. Ngwenya. At least Womuona Achitamba, give him more time just before AFCON, assess him again. This was a perfect opportunity to look at him, to look at your second striker. And at this moment, I think he's the second striker, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that second striker, in my opinion, he should be the first one. He should be the first option. Uingabve pa bench Msona are an impact sub.
Yeah.
Actually, also replace Mfana.
Because stabilize things.
I think in
my
you see the way. Okay.
Go on.
Okay, I say you see the way water Msona is being used. Just that is the way, same way his brother should be used, coming off the bench as an impact substitute. Totanga nemfana where give him more time or run. I think from hence going forward, Ukaitikaisa Ngwenya up front, Chirewa 10, then Tawanda Maswanise ku right, or Bill Antonio on the wing. Those front four should be what we should be. That's the attack we should be working with.
Yeah.
Then, of course, togona kutamba edune midfield toita say back takuziya vatinoda. We have raised the point Galloway. Galloway should be in that team. There is no way Hadebe is better than Galloway. There is no chance that Takwara is better than Galloway. But Galloway is being benched.
Yeah.
Torai Galloway partner him with Munashe. Then there should be an argument. We should be talking to Darikwa Kutauya Kafe, that right back. We get Darikwa
There's a
Ouya,
youngster we
recall
are at
him.
Australia. That right back. Another Madana.
Okay.
But
That's another option.
Like something Chiripo Chono, if you look at player getting Dari Kwandi. At the end of the day, and like we said, we want young players to come in, and then we've had experienced players coming in as well. But the experienced players are shown when it comes to fitness level and what is expected of them, they're not really up to scratch. But you look at someone like Dari Kwakwa Argutamba, you don't play if you're not fit. If you're not a fitness level, you won't see why ready for game time. You know what people don't know is here in England and everywhere else, you're in Europe, top league, including even a Championship League 1, League 2. When she was saying the Joti Panema and people know now and the way Nikichama starts or whatnot is there. And that includes as well, even in training, when you're training, there is, as you train, which you gauge one percentage, fitness, a match fitness. And I remember like him, I had gone able to base a percentage. So sometimes it's not even the coach who's going to say anything. Is the physios or the scientists, the sports scientists who are going to say this person is ready. Maybe we're not going to but play it. They get ready on the pitch. Aripa grass, I say, but the play I'm not gonna weigh Aripa 85. I just gonna Aripa 85%. Which only goes the no time by the level yake 85. I eat with a P. The babu he needs 88 to and above with a P. The so gonna yoga. Ask Kutamba unless can Arimune a specialist position like you good Zigano de Anogono Pagana go even Yakwasi fit in Dopa no zones. We say cheaper bench, I know the the last 20 minutes. One we share good, but why is no pins where he cannot for half time? But Zadator, when my sports science to Quadrota or the Mono, I'm happy with 40 minutes. Happy with 40 minutes, I'll go 20 minutes. You see, now. Take it now to Zimbabwe. I don't expect Zimbabwe would even my resources like that. But problem is, when you look at players like Anama, you can ask him Kutamba and did it. Kuruku Nyangwargunzargu Vase Nyangwachinzi is one of the top players, the good Luton. Kana Asinga Kutamba Unona Ajigatsko Pans, Kana Usadum one squad. Kushika azo shika pa level yekunza angachitamba kumanda 21 angachita sei ne training yake kuti level yake percentage yake asvika bare minimum yekuita sei yekutamba Mave can just turn up ukuboza aruda kuya and that manager probably would instead yekuti vazive ma stats ake maybe munhu wekuti anongoti are you fit Mave anoti chiadotamba I am fit I did it to my shadows, whatever, aribo, injury yake iribo, hapana paru boneko di cardio yake kuti cardio paru manya pa argunete argunete kana kuti asikurumidza kuneta because he knows kuti he can get away with it at Zimbabwe national team but he can't get away with it at Luton. So now kana tichaura maplayers akatonga nadarikwa you know kuti mukamudaidzaka one unexperience my international games especially like an AFCON and whatnot he's been there and the unfitness level yamunoziva kuti izvo musikumboya mune concern yekuti ane fitness here ari match fit here or not these are the players who don't find out that now good ngada is for good advance wakutotanga, but he should be considered even if I said kutanga, but we should be
even
looking at
akapinda 60 minutes
vanhu vari as ready as possible. Yeah. But now zvirikuitika uchaona, I just wonder with the squad ichaenda kuAFCON ichangeka say that's going to be very interesting.
I don't think they are major.
But if I may say something, Santa Kanganwa. Now, this Santa Kanganwa chimwe makipa edu kazhinji kachona ine I don't really know even kana kuti unditi ndivajudge kuti ndinyatsondichi avanyatsondi-impressa. They're not bad, but avanyatsondi-impressa makipa edu. But I've got to give to Arubi today, I think where he was needed, the way that he came out and my saves angachita, catching the ball first time, letting your defenders breathe and all that. I was impressed by that today. I think the goalkeeper, did a decent job. He did a decent job because Mugeta keeper asingakubatsireka, you'll be in trouble because muskumbowana ope kuti mumboita sei mumbofema mungoramba muchimugari dhura robva radzoka mubva maclear kuti musati mabuda rodzoka, it becomes difficult. But mukumboda keeper kuti anombobudisa for a cross onoribata obva rara naro pasi obva ambotora kuti maseconds there muchimboita sei muchifema. And he did that. And you realize, Jay, kuti keeper akadaroka, the difference that it makes. And that's the reason why Wakona, even by Manchester United, the man keeper, kuti anombo test kwasiterek ne Sunderland. But all of a sudden, what was the difference? And many times when Manchester United are playing, box to panic because Manchester United now concede from my set piece and all that. But that keeper, the way that he would casually come out to punch the ball, or the way that he casually come out and pick up the ball from the striker's head or the batter first time or there, so that gives confidence. So all of a sudden, pariruguya bora mu box amucha panika because mukuti tine munhu uya pamusoro pesa apa achinenda sei achinobata bora, and that's what I think Arubi did today. So he hats off to him. Yeah,
you did well.
Still on keepers. While on keepers, Ningirikiri, I don't think we know who is our second best keeper between Chipezeze and Mapisa. You see, these are things that happen. Let's say Uyakwara than Arubi. Who is coming on there? Who is the second? Whoever is coming on, is he the best of the two? So this is why it hit my game, my dead rabbi, Latambise, but that guy Antaradanzi, Arubi is my number one. Arubi will play. But how do you know how good the other guys who you have on the bench are? If you cannot see who is even better, who is your second keeper, who is your third keeper? He doesn't know. He cannot honestly say right now Mapisa is better than Chipezes or the other way around or vice versa.
Yeah, we don't know.
Because our number one in that team.
Arubi anogonongo chikoka kana ruoko kuti satenda kuAFCON. What happens?
Then we are stuck. Keeper number one, Diane.
And you know the worst thing about it, what frustrates me now, Isusu has fans now, yeah. That keeper has not been given chance to settle it down playing at that level. Then I got a mistake, I go but I see a problem now, coach. I see a problem here because if the coach had figured that out, because let's look at it this way. No matter what you say, zvakangofanana nePremier League panonzi mune Carling Cup, mune Carabao, mune FA Cup, mune League. And pane the reason why my team achichinja kana pa Carabao vachinja team yese, it doesn't mean that they don't want to win it. That cup sometimes wanaonaitonge isina basa, but ine basa. But you've got no choice but to use my players mama akwa usinga use because ndivo vanhu vacha replace my players ari kustart ayaya. handiti
Arutamba,
saka sometimes
yes.
regardless of what you think you have to use those players there has to be so kwandiri game rakaita kunge ranhasi as important as it is kuti ada kudya South Africa but this was a Carabao for our players today.
Yes,
it was a Carabao.
exactly.
We didn't say we didn't make wholesale changes, but there is certain players that he ought to have been looking at. So for me, I look at it as you didn't play Galloway, Pama games like right? So you need to make sure that he's on tip top. You need to make sure with the Argutamba and the one or the you know what you needed to see Fabish. Kuti ajistata kuti anonyatsita say understand him well because uchamunida atina kuti uchamustarta first game ra uchatamba je mu AFCON but we want you to be sure kuti paanopinda not zvokono training zvezve but in a game situation kuti what is he going to do for us. We needed a keeper sitting number 1
exactly
kuti abati chi
either mapisa which versus a NAS
we needed we needed Ngwenya.
Yeah, exactly.
Kuti start, right? Because you want to give players they're going to be in the reckoning. Kwafcon, even if they're not starters. You want to have a look at them. So if why I said this is our Carabao, because in Carabao you give your number 2 keeper game time.
Chance.
Wazokasampa game time musocha mungomunza pepe uyu wako akwara obvanzu akwara ari 8 weeks out. Imi mukutamba 2 games a week kana kuti uyu anogona kuzotora kana 3-4 games kuti anyazopinda zvinyatsoita chaizvo and you're in trouble.
Yeah,
exactly.
Saka, there was no reason. We didn't say there should have been wholesale changes, but there should have been 4 or 5 players that he was targeting today. I need to see them today.
Like Zaita pana Munash.
Yeah.
Like trying
Saka,
Munash right.
Yeah. But
then the problem was
yeah, but Munetsi was always going to play. Munetsi was always going to play.
Exactly.
Even Munetsi, even a player like Munetsi, sometimes you've got to be cute as well. Matima umbeka in Premier League anogono zoneta ne ogona pa nikira pepe pa bokwara pepe magames akadai soka to have a cordial relationship ne matima aka chibomburise bam.
Yeah, exactly.
Chiboisa chi mumwe muno atambe chi last 20 because what's alright chaitika with South Africa one. What problem is it going to be? But now injuries vanhu vebhora totitaka bhora handiti akwara kapepa handiti anorana manis ndaiso handiti unogona azishamiseka and azopinda neadrenaline akatamba unogona kuzonzonzi minutes is out for 2-3 weeks kana 4 weeks with that injury or more. Now when we need him takutanga kuita problem nechi leclub yake bona saka zvinhu zvese zvatiri kutaura doesn't seem like he's clued on to look at those things and look at the bigger picture.
Yeah, the problem is tinoita option toita a situation whereby tinoenda ku AFCON, we approach AFCON yakutosvika ka kwasara just 2 months munetsi wacho akakuvara waona anoingoenda kutamba ku Wolves 1 game over akuvara panotanga tournament are injured. Ndiani achatamba in his place? We have already ruled out and I mean for some bizarre reason that nobody knows. Then we don't know how Jonah Fabish plays because hatisi kumutambisa tomisa 2 minutes kwasara 2 minutes kuti game repair munhu anoita in 2 minutes.
Sometimes if you play those youngsters they will impress So you'll be under pressure to play them next time. So
And what will be wrong with that?
In ndukunyepera yako man inini I'm always zvinogona ndogona hangu kutadza sometimes kuve objective in a certain way because maybe my emotions vanomboita the better of anyone but I still try and munhu yakochi anonzi nis I give him the benefit of the doubt sometimes ndotarisa and I try to be in his shoes kuti ndione zvaari kuita but that man I don't want to lie to you that man is a disappointment. He's a disappointment.
We have held South Africa
because
at their home. You can't say that.
Yeah, you know, he's a disappointment because munhu anoita clutch ukuona ndakamuona kubvira kudhara munhu yaye achitaura ukuona ilike ipapapa you will see how arrogant he's going to be. You will see how cocky he's going to be because draw in South Africa in 1-0.
Did you want us to lose?
Yeah. No, I didn't want us to lose. No, I'll never wish us to lose with the ZIMvSAchat, but it's a difficult one. So I can't go find another Neguman Yuna Amorim. I love Amorim and I know what he's trying to do, and but now there's a problem. Now you can't keep on doing the same thing. And then to skip a point, my problem. So now this is where Pansigas was arrogant. Sakamorim now I've got a problem with him. But I wouldn't want money you could add the but he still annoys me what he's doing. And those na manager now should not win against South Africa. And we could have won, not a chance, whatever. They're going to go in out of nothing and did it.
We could have.
But the problem is, Coach Wedu, Anna, he doesn't care about our team. From my perspective, he doesn't care about what's going to happen for us, in the future. And I think arrogance is like arrogance, just like I've said about Amorim. So he only needs a small thing to justify what he's done, and that's it. Yeah. And we've given him a justification now.
I've got a funny feeling, though, that he's going to go to AFCON and he's going to Juma. 2 draws, 1 win. Over Pinda second round, over Juma, my penalties.
Wakambotarisa group. OJ. Wakamboona. Look at that group ratiri muya ndiudze kuti ndeipi team yaari kurova. Who do you think that anorova
if he selects the team triple, there's no reason why we should compete against South Africa.
Oh, like South Africa tasona zvayaita nhasi yarakidza kuti inoroveka.
Yeah.
And there is a reason why yakangoti rova ka1. Because they are not probably as good as everyone is making them out to be. You see?
No.
So Anoroeka, maybe with the right selection today, Tingadeta win a game, but in the end, it's 0-0. And the 0-0, it was a good result. It's not a good result. We are failing to score goals. We have to find ways of scoring.
When did we last hold South Africa? In South Africa.
Not so long ago, and Takaita 1-1 now in South Africa. Takaita 1-1 now, and it's in South Africa. So South Africa in Oroveka, this is what? The 3rd draw against South Africa. Is that right? I think so.
Yeah, I think they've.
Yes.
I think out of about 12 games, they have 6 wins. We have 2 wins, then 4 draws. Something like that.
More draws, yes.
So is Saka. So for me, my question will be, if we are happy that we drew against South Africa, are we agreeing that we look at Zimbabwe as a very inferior country where justification ilipo for having 0 wins in this group. We're the only team that doesn't have a win. Yeah, in that group. So are we saying we are a poor footballing country so that we should rejoice at drawing 0-0 with South Africa, and we have to be happy with what we have? And the fact is because even go AFCON, we have to be happy that at least we've been there, but we lose all the games.
Well, at least in our group, I think in our group we should have beaten Rwanda. I want to answer you. I think in our group we should have beaten Rwanda. I think that one. If we check the squads, the Rwanda and us, definitely we should have beaten Rwanda. Then Nigeria, I don't think we are superior to them historically, and even looking at the team sheets of the teams, we are not superior.
Right now, they have the better players.
You think we have better players than Nigeria?
No, Nigeria has better players than us.
Okay, yeah. I think Nigeria has better players. I wouldn't have Combs Kanatika Jiwan in Nigeria.
If we lose to Nigeria, yeah.
Yeah. So we held Nigeria twice. Rwanda, we lost to Rwanda twice. I think that one is not acceptable. If we compare the squads of Rwanda and us, those results needed us to be accountable for that.
But you know, another. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, looking at Benin, I was surprised that they seem to have better players than us in terms of their squad.
Yeah, I think they do.
They are playing. They have better players than us. But I think we should have been fighting maybe at least to get a draw against them. Then South Africa, I think we should be able to beat South Africa if we compare the squads in terms of where they are playing and stuff. But I think the main advantage that they have is that I think 8 of their squad are Mamelodi Sundowns players who play with each other every few weeks and stuff. So as Kelvin said last time, our advantage is that we may have players who are playing in good leagues, but we need a coach at a technically astute so that he can take advantage of the good players that we have and we do better. You can go ahead now.
You see, coach akataura kuti I prefer players who play in better leagues. Right? Musona is not playing in a better league than Ngwenya right now. Right? Let's agree on that one.
Agreed.
So I would expect Ngwenya. If we are going by the coach's words, Ngwenya should have started.
Yeah.
Then we have Bill Antonio is playing in a better league than most of the players, the Zimbabwean players. Yeah. He should be able to start than Billiard. And it is not Billiard. Definitely, you should play. The 2 Rwanders, definitely, they play in better leagues. So going by his words, he's not even following what he told us he is going to do. If he does that, then we'll respect him for it. On.
Yeah.
Then, I agree. Yes. So, the quality of vanotamba competitive leagues week in, week out. It will carry us through. My games are difficult. Turns out, as knows, when was the last time we scored a goal? Mbofunga, just think back. What was the last goal that we scored? And how many games back is it?
Yeah.
But we are convinced that we are still convinced to tamba better football. Football is about scoring goals. and we are not doing so. I think the only game Rataka goes more than one goal in a game was against Namibia, was it?
Yeah.
And that's long way
We're
back.
going to score more against Lesotho.
They beat us, didn't they?
Yeah, they beat us. We were still with Tapera. I don't count that as a Zimbabwe national team.
All right, we'll see that game against Lesotho how it goes.
You know, answering you to, I know I'm starting my team one by one. South Africa this, Nigeria this, and all that. I look at the group that we have. Having watched games in that group, I realize that there are teams that you say player for player, they have players who play in better leagues than us. Yeah. In there were players who play in better leagues than us. I didn't say they were better players than us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So exposure in my players are Europe. Yes, it's good to have a lot of European players because one professionalism, but Europe more many elite way as well. Never packet, never business. I did it. So South Africa, Nigeria, in my players like I wonder when a decent number of players elite here Europe, never more packet, I did it. It's also never packet, never so just like Nigeria, never so and then we elite to go. Now and I'm next one to wonder she did which is very elite of Grammatica. She did it well. I tell her she all the time. The Muranga go but the Muranga again now what I have seen with the football itself is that if I take the kit away from teams and put all the teams in white, and on nothing to comes in white, it comes in black. I have not seen much difference between the teams. I have not been overly impressed by Nigeria to a point that we did not to find out which year. Vakatijka, but and nakuona anything chekuti ndinoti game risati ratanga tobva ndati it's okay kuti tijyiwe neNigeria because they're superior than us. No. I want to get angry kuti ndajyiwa neNigeria if we don't play well. Because if we play well, we can beat them. Because Amuna team irikuratidza kuti iri overly, even from a tactical point of view. Most of my teams are it's more individual brilliance. Zine certain players amongst the group varikuzo make a difference. But from a tactical point of view, when you're team bora is but the way you have to shift a play, so most teams are doing the same. You can see some of the things we've got in Nigeria is the same things, Beto Zimbabwe, sometimes yeah. Saka Akuna Bora Rugutambwa right now. Yeah. Akuna Bora Rugutambwa right now group medu meamaga rekuti nonditaura kuti any team should just be like tongoti iri kufana kutijika. Yeah. Kudara when Nigeria was still Nigeria or Cameroon was still Cameroon.
Yeah.
They open up ground the displays order apaga. Kabudo nega 2-1 get apaga. Tavaya. Was it Zamburwa. But now Nigeria, they're more in name than what they're doing on the pitch. But because it's a inferiority complex and Budara, sometimes they use that psychologically to their advantage, and that will make them win. Age over you already. And what it takes is ndikatanga kugwesa inini ka mentality yako iwo ndeyekutoti zviya zvatotanga saka uchatadza kushifta your mentality from there to saying i1-0 we can come back and then score again. Wazi chinhu chinonzi ichi chakaipa ndo chinotamba bhora rese ichi before watamba kumakumbo.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Nigeria right now inotyisa kuti Nigeria because izita ratotaura kuti Nigeria but Nigeria haityise bhora chayo haityise and right now and it's vindicated as well because right now mateam aya even though tastruggle muningini momo these teams they're struggling to qualify. If they were that good they would have walked this group by now but kutaura vari kutotambisa second 11 avo because vakatoita say they ran away with it but they did not. Saka sometimes tiri kuzvikwaza pakuti tiri kupa vanhu too much respect yavasingadeserve. Tikupa too much respect from a historical point of view rather than from what is happening right now. Because ukaona right now tawana maswanisi achitambira mother world. Yeah. Womuona achitamba versus anonzani mufana uyu aitambira ndandauti Caps aitambira Arsenal autamba Fulham. Anonzani Owebi.
Oh, Iwobi, yeah.
Iwobi.
Huh? Iwobi, yeah. Ona Iwobi achimhanyisana na kana maswanise. Handiti. Anonzi dotamba necho left maswanise ariko. Ukaona achimhanyisana vachitorera na bhora unogona kuona kuti on a day maswanise anogona kuve ari kutokurira Iwobi.
Yeah.
Ari kutokurira Iwobi singaite but not kuti vari kutamba same kuti vatamba but unogona kutozoona kuti maswanise is being way more effective than Iwobi.
Yeah.
But Iwobi is always going to have an edge yekuti vanhu vanongoti Iwobi Arsenal Fulham, yeah, karespect kachangove karipo more than karespect kachapiwa munhu anotambira mother world. But maswanisi anogona kushaisa Iwobi bhora kuti uone kuti hapana kana zvaari kutomboita panapa nhasi one. Saka now is down to mentality yemaplayers kuti maplayers ari kuenda muground akadyiwa kudhara kana kuti vari kuenda vachibhiliva kuti iyi team tinorova iyi.
Yeah.
If we do well or draw at the minimum.
Yeah, I think that in terms of mentality, you think of Cape Verde. That team, it has players who play third, fourth division in Portugal, but they are giving fire to Cameroon who've got players in Premier League and stuff. But I think Cape Verde has given itself a good mentality. I've also heard that Madagascar has been coming up again and they could possibly qualify as well. They also have players who are French third division, fourth division, so semi-pro or pro, but they are coming up because of mentality.
We'll talk about this Nice Aita post-conference again. And you see what the Mataura Chaita is the inferiority complex. That man is going to sing about how good things are and how good we were because the draw in South Africa. But then I look at that and I feel disappointed because I think my players and not bora anotamba my players in South Africa bora and no vachitamba. South Africa is not superior to us. But that coach will be happy because it had a new energy. Saka now you then see good even but preparation it doesn't have confidence in mind. Munari defeated with that. Saka if we get something out of that game, fire. But you know what, we should be winning games like this and blah 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 blah. I'll respect him because in the you're giving the right vibe and the right mentality to my players. but I can guarantee you kuti hazvisikuitika tichataura ka muchinge manzwa achinge ataura ada kuti dai kwauri kuzimbabwe kunonaitwa anenge ada kutonaitwa izvozvo kuti aita roni south africa.
No one. So how up to next game, what changes are you making?
Machanges atanga tichitaura apa isai Bafana madhara aya ngaambomira takaona tiri kuziva kuti iye ndio aanoda ndio aachanotangisa kuAFCON. Saka ngatiise vamwe vanhu vasina kuona. I would love to see Galloway start a match. I would love to see someone different from Zemura on that left wing. He's a defender. He's a left back. We have Buell Anton, who is a winger, sitting on the bench, but Zemura is playing our left wing. Atina munhu anogona kutamba here. Ngatiise another different person there. Tione kuti anoita sei. Then let Zemura na Lunga compete for the left back position.
Yes.
And then we have proper wingers up front. I'm not saying he has done an incredibly good job in that position, but now but now we have the players for those positions, and they're sitting on the bench. We want to see them on the pitch and see them how they do. Those are their specialist positions. Let them do.
Inini hangu apa pane zvataurwa, I'm not even going to waste any time or spend any time talking much about it. Inini, all I would say to you ndeyekuti just transfer the conversation we've had about Ishima players and Carabao, whatnot, the national reserves. Put that into context with what I was saying about the last game, because it should have happened in the last two games, which was tonight and the last game. So now you can go transfer and everything we're talking about, the players that need to be looked at, looking at our number 2 keeper, looking at Galloway, for a long time, a dead set position here, give him game time. Maybe or whatever. You need to be doing that. You're not going to see that in training. Then I'm so period, they don't need to start these games because they don't need to be playing these games because it's good players and when the chips, but when it comes down to it, cinema players are ready made to actually come and do a job. Even after first game, I guess I'm so Billy at the first game I did it. So but you expect with this game substitute we then expect them with strategy the second game. One. So that is what is needed right now with the situation here.
Hopefully you listen and you make the changes, but it's unlikely. It's a small positive.
Remember mark my words.
You've lost all hope.
No, that man, I've lost. I never thought I would lose hope with him like that. There are some people who are just plain disappointment, and he is one. And it doesn't help the fact that would say, unoona clearly would say, but he almost sometimes he is out of his depth. And or maybe it could be a point there. I find director of football, because they're not director of football. No matter what they say at the end of the day, when it comes down to coaching or whatever, they can't take, they're not coaches. But my ideas or whatever, but abasi vanhu vane brain yecoaching yekumira patouchline and organize play zvakangofanana namatongorero. I knew matongorero since I was a kid. And pakaitwa coach who kept Zimbabwe, and it's not going to work because he's not a coach. You know, and sometimes you even need people with skills, yeah, man management and all that. And unenge wakajairira zvemubhuku rather than zvekudhila nevanhu nedressing room jairo, ngoona. And for me, kwandiri anoita kunge director of football because even matauriro ake achonaka arrogance dzake hadzisi dzemunhu anogona kutaura nemafa.
Ndakanakidzwa papress conference yake nezuro kuSABC. He was saying most of your coaches or the coaches that are in the South African League, they've come out of my hands. So yeah, I think he's a director of football more than I think. I was very surprised if you have seen ZIFA recently appointed a Burundian as a technical director, or we could say it's a sporting director, and I didn't understand it because I've never heard of that name, and Burundi, of all places, is not known for anything football related. So
I
wondered why they would appoint such a person.
I say Bora Burundi. Burundi.
Yeah, it was crazy. Anyway, we'll be waiting for Lesotho game and we'll see what will happen, and yeah, we'll talk about it. Hopefully we'll see a few changes and yeah, we'll win.
Yeah, fingers crossed
And
next the changes.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting to I change a team here because I was talking to another guy, I think on one of the posts that I taura kuti tiri kutaura zvedu zvatiri kutaura panapa, but Nakamba ari kutamba come at the start of the game. You see? And he was right. He was right. He was proven right because the coach is now predictable.
Yeah.
Toziya vanhu vaanoda kuti vatambe, but we just hope, for crying out loud, that he changes that team and then have an assessment of the other guys with Varitamba.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it was very painful to see Nakamba. I think he lost. There were 2 consecutive balls that he lost in the first half. So you could see, yes, he has an idea of what he wants to do, but clearly the body, his body won't allow him to do what he's thinking.
There's a chance he lost the ball on the edge of the box. It was South Africa who just failed to score on their own.
Yeah.
Guys,
What did you say? Okay, I think his network is down. Yeah. I think Tobatana after Lesotho game. Yeah, his network is down. Try. No, I can't hear him. I think his network is.
Yeah, I know. Let's just leave it here.
Do you have any last words?
I've already said that.
You look resigned.
Nothing to add. Change a team.
And thanks for joining up. Hope there's less stress next game.
Yeah, we'll always be here.
See ya.
Later.